Hey, it's Dee. It's a brand new episode coming right for you, right on the FTO network. Enjoy. All right, guys, this is Dee and Anton Sixxx. Usually you introduce yourself, but I'm Dee of FTO Nerd Talk,
and I'm Anton Sixxx of Chessy Controller-Podcast.
And this is Table Cheese. I'm not editing any of this. This is going to be in the podcast.
Cool. I'm with it.
We were just talking about Steam Deck.
As we usually do. I feel like between the two of us, Steam Deck is like, and I mean, in the gaming industry at large, it's like the newest piece of hardware that is like reaching like broad adoption. So
even like when I was on your show, Chessy Controller, for your 199 episode, you guys should probably check out where you have podcasts. I was talking with Jalen, like he was like a big proponent of it also. Like he says he lays in bed with it and like just plays all his PC games that he has. And, you know, he's as hardcore of a gamer as you are. And I think to myself, like, if he's saying this, there's got to be other people out there saying the same thing. It's $400 for like the low end model of the Steam Deck. You know, if you want to get a little bit higher, it's $600 for like the higher end. It's all expandable storage. And like we were talking about the God of War Ragnarok, I heard it's going to come out on PC in January. Like I could be wrong, that could be the thing, but you were saying like that's a big turnaround. But like
that's a really so Sony, they have invested in studios to port their games to PC, and so God of War Ragnarok's coming out beginning of November. For it to be like anytime in January would be the quickest turnaround for a PlayStation game coming from PlayStation to PC. And part of the reason I feel like they've been doing such a big gap between the quickest turnaround so far will be Miles Morales or Returnal, depending on which. I think we have a date for Miles Morales, but that's a cross-gen game. So far, we have not gotten any PS5 exclusive games come anywhere else. So like the Ratchet and Clank Rift Aparts, the like different Returnal, even, well, I guess Deathloop came to PC day and date, but that wasn't a first party. Part of the PlayStation strategy with these PC releases of their first party titles is different than how Microsoft does it. Microsoft does it day and date so you can play it wherever. Okay.
Well, they are more of a PC proprietor brand, Microsoft. Right. They make computers, but I feel like what you're saying to me with PlayStation is they got more of a wait and see kind of situation, like let it make money on one platform before we give it off to the PC corporations. And I do have a date for the Miles Morales. It's November 18th of this year.
That's my mom's birthday.
Look at that! See, there you go. Happy birthday, Mom. There you go. Got her Miles Morales on the deck.
Yeah, that entire sentence, my mom would just smile and nod.
Yeah, my mom's the same way. Yeah, like video game. Yeah, I know, I'm good.
I remember a few years ago, a Pokemon game came out on her birthday, and she at least understood the Pokemon part. But I was,
but wanting to play it, no.
Right. Thank you. My mom would like get into certain games when like my sister and I were a lot younger. We'd play like some random, like I can't even think of the names, like just random PC like free download kind of like almost Disney Channel, Cartoon Network like online level games. There were some that my mom just would get really into. So
really,
yeah.
Wow. My mom never got big into games like that. She was never big. Like she was a Miss Pac-Man player. That's her game of choice.
Well, yeah, whatever. Pac-Man. It was like a match 3 type game that you just kind of clicked around on. That like my mom was the best player in the entire house at that game.
Don't doubt that, man. Don't doubt that. I'm playing a game like that right now. I'm playing Merge Mansion. I know. I get it. I'm on a very sophisticated gaming podcast, and I'm playing Merge Mansion. I know. That's why I need.
Hey. So, okay, let's roll it back, and then we can get. So, PlayStation strategy right now seems to be squeeze the games for all they're worth on PlayStation, and then once they're done selling, because they have like developers, first and third party, have said after your first like 2 months after launch, especially with single player games, that's where you're going to get 90% of your sales. And then the rest of that game's lifetime will be 10%. And that's just like off into the distance. Like, you're getting your people who pre-ordered, you're getting your people who get that early good word of mouth, like coming off good review scores, and so you're getting like that 90% of your audience in the first 2 months, and then after that you're just kind of getting random people here and there, like, who randomly discover your game, who are trying it somewhere else. And so far PlayStation's strategy has been get our big games, like almost all of the games that have come out, except for Spider-Man. Spider-Man's like the only exception to this, has been free through PlayStation Plus in one way or another. So Days Gone, Horizon, God of War, just all of their PC offerings have been games that they're like, okay, we got everything we could out of the PlayStation audience. People have gotten this game for free on PlayStation at this point. Let's charge $60 for it on Steam. And then there are the people who will double dip because, like, oh yeah, Spider-Man was a great game. Like, if I hadn't just gotten back into my Spider-Man save on Spider-Man Remastered on PS5 within the last couple of years, I'd definitely be down to play Spider-Man again on the Steam Deck. It's just... And so that's why I think this turnaround's kind of fast, especially with God of War being a cross-gen game. Because God of War Ragnarok is coming to PS4 and PS5. Like, it's not really being advertised for PS4, but the 100 million plus PS4s in the wild, that is... Even though Miles Morales, as one of the cross-gen examples, sold more on PS5 than it did PS4, and Horizon Forbidden West, same deal, it's still going to be one of those things that if somebody buys God of War Ragnarok on PS4 and then gets a PS5 and a Steam Deck, it's a $10 upgrade to go to the PS5 version, where you have to buy the entire game again, and you can't carry your save currently. There's some rumblings about like a PlayStation PC kind of ecosystem thing where you could have trophies in your friends list, because PlayStation's investing heavily into games as a service for the early part of this generation. Well, I guess we're kind of towards the end, this mid part of this new generation. PlayStation's definitely investing heavily into games as a service. And so those make sense to come out day and date, because if you have a competitive multiplayer shooter, for example, making it, let's say, if you have PlayStation Plus, it's free on PlayStation Plus on PC and PlayStation, but you could also have that buzz and word of mouth and sell it to people on PC who would never subscribe to PlayStation Plus, who would never, and then kind of get them into that ecosystem and get them kind of acclimated with how things are done on the PlayStation side, because it's different than Steam. Like, it's not that different. Like, they've become closer and closer as time has gone on, but at the end of the day,
I did read some reviews. Some reviews said like it was a little choppy at times. Some reviews said like, you know, it was pretty seamless. Like like they all have like their pros and cons when it comes to people talking about playing the Spider-Man game on Steam. But I do think like if we're comparing it to just the Spider-Man game, when it comes like the interactive games being transferred from one company to the next, there is like a list of games like Call of Duty made over 30 copies last year. Horizon Zero Dawn, there was 17 million copies, and Elden Ring did up to 17 million copies. Like, you know, I do think like Spider-Man selling over 33 million copies, like, it's making it a little bit more of an outlier to come out a little bit sooner and being transferred over. But I do get what you're saying, like, you know, having that happen, transferring those games over, and like from different places, so it can make more money, since it costs so much to put inside of it, and since like it is such a moneymaker. You don't think it's going to be this way for every game, though, I'm assuming, right? Like, well, it won't be like that long 6 months transfer.
Well, I mean, so like some of the examples you gave, Elden Ring launched everywhere all at once.
Okay.
So like, it's kind of a different conversation when you talk about multi-platform games.
That's true. That's
like,
true.
Because Overwatch launched everywhere, full cross-play, cross-progression, and Overwatch 2 has a higher player count in the first few weeks than it had in the first few months on its initial release because it's free to play. Like, there are a lot of factors that go into that. And so far, the only other than Nintendo, because Nintendo will sell millions of units just on Nintendo hardware.
They're very proprietary sometimes too, yeah.
But when you talk about something like Cyberpunk sold millions of copies, but Cyberpunk came out everywhere at the same time.
Yeah.
So you kind of got to take like availability into account when you look at just the raw numbers of like what games have sold. And then you got to think about like this generation is really weird because it's been a while since we've had like just almost across the board backwards compatibility. Almost every PS4 game plays on the PS5. Almost every Xbox One game plays on the Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
So it's kind of
all right. Okay, we're getting into this. We're getting like into like the conversation I've been wanting to move us into for the past like since you brought up the Steam Deck. Since like you introduced like me to what a Steam Deck is, I've been wanting to move myself to this conversation with you. And that conversation is, are consoles gonna go on the wayside with this Steam Deck coming out? Do you think like we're not gonna see as many?
No,
I wouldn't say Nintendo, but like PlayStation and Xbox. You know, like people are gonna like be less interested in that, considering that the Steam Deck is gonna be here.
The PS5, and I don't see anybody getting a Steam Deck. Like, I mean, now it's getting to the point where more and more people are getting access to it. But so far, the people that I know personally either have a new gen Xbox, a PS5, or both in some cases. Like, everybody that I know personally who's gotten a Steam Deck already has a current gen console. And the Steam Deck is just kind of an additive thing. It's appealing to a different audience, but
I do see a lot of people comparing it to a Vita, if anything else. Yeah.
Yeah. And even with the Vita, like a lot of people who had a Vita either had a PS3 or a PS4 as well. Like it wasn't just you just had a Vita during that generation. Like even now, the Switch is kind of a different ball game.
It is.
But the Switch,
it doesn't offer you the same kind of games that you would get on the PC, and it has like its own kind of vibe to it.
Well, it does. You'd be surprised at, like, because the barrier of entry has been lowered on all the major platforms, like, the amount of shovelware and third-party indies, and, like, there's a lot of different things that you wouldn't expect to see on the Switch eShop. There's straight-up hentai games on the Switch eShop.
So I've heard, yeah.
So, like, the barrier of entry being lowered like that, kind of, like, there are certain things you'd only get on PC, but a lot of those PC exclusive experiences are... I can't think of any games in, like, a lot of things I'm trying on my Steam Deck right now are, like, demos of, like, really obscure indie games that are just... But all the major things that I get... So let me just, like, bring up the games installed on my Steam Deck so I can give you, like, kind of a overview of what I use mine for.
It's been almost a month since you've had this. Yeah. Let's hear the games you've been putting on there.
So I have Akane, which is like a pixel art kind of like cyberpunky. It's like no matter what, your character is going to die by the end of the night. It's how many of the enemy are you going to take with you is like the premise of the game. And it's really kind of like Hotline Miami, like one shot, one kill. Like you can kill them extremely easily. They can kill you extremely easily. It gets harder and harder, and it has great visuals, great music. So there's that. There's this game Anton that I got just because it's called Anton. It has a demo and it's coming out like June of next year, and so I know very little about the game. Like I haven't even gotten a chance to open the application, but that's there. There's a game called Anton Ball Deluxe, which I also am interested in because Anton is in the title of this game.
Simply because. Is this Akane game? Is it more of a 16-bit type game?
Yeah.
All
so
right, gotcha.
Looking into it, Akane is And the interesting thing, so Akane, Anton Ball Deluxe, and like as I keep going, these games are Akane's available on PlayStation and Switch, as far as I know. And so like it's available to play in those places. Anton Ball Deluxe is also available on Switch. The next game, Bayonetta 1 is available on PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS4, like Switch. It's everywhere. It's on the Wii U. So that shows just how ubiquitous of a game Bayonetta 1 is. Bleach Brave Souls. That's on mobile. Like I'm currently like switching because that's cross progression between the mobile and PC version. So essentially, like I started playing this game a while ago, and I played it on my phone, but like playing games on my phone isn't like always the stickiest experience. And just because it's Bleach, like I'm really into it, but playing it on my Steam Deck has been great because it's a touchscreen interface. I can just tap the screen and it doesn't go to sleep as quickly as my phone, and I'm not getting notifications like I would on my phone. It's just like I get to run Bleach Brave Souls, and so I've been doing that.
Looks like a good time spender. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I have Final Fantasy 1 through 7, which 7 is available almost everywhere. 1 through 6, it's a mixed bag on how you can get them. Like, this just seems like I'm hoping these pixel remasters that came out on mobile, so 1 through 7 in essentially the forms that I have them in are all available on mobile. But
Is this Intergrade, the remake that you're talking about?
Just regular PS1 Final Fantasy 7.
Good old fashioned regular. Gotcha.
Right. And then I got Final Fantasy 14, which PC, PlayStation.
You hold that one close to your heart.
Yep. Oh, I got some on here recently that are really near and dear to me, and my Steam Deck usage has been going up and up and up. The more things I realize I can do with it, because Bleach Brave Souls says it's straight up not supported. And all it was is a matter of you have to like log in and then like kind of like force close the browser and then like jump back to the game. It's just kind of like a little bit of initial setup that's like a little bit finicky to get it to work, but
I've been reading about this. I've been saying like that a few games are like that when it comes to the Steam. Like you do certain little tips and tricks to play certain games.
Yeah, and almost outside of like specific examples, like I know Destiny 2, they're like, do not play Destiny 2 on your Steam Deck, you will get banned. So wow. And that's like a official statement from Bungie. So like a lot of things like that, but yeah, so far
we gotta come back to that. That's interesting.
Well, it's because of cheating. Because anti-cheat is built for like a lot of these games that use the easy anti-cheat like add-on to their software, it's not compatible with Linux. And since you'd be running it through a compatibility layer, it could introduce a lot of cheating, and it could introduce a lot of problems to like the economy of the game. Like
interesting.
So for that, like for Destiny to be an ongoing live service, like people could data mine the files a lot easier, and like a lot of ongoing games already have problems like this. Like people with the know-how to do it on Linux will have a lot easier time doing it on Linux than they would on PC. So that's
I gotta tell you, like I'm really interested to see like how that's gonna play out in the future when it comes to this. Like since like Steam Deck is a Linux-based proprietary, like I want to see like how that's gonna play out with the gaming world and that being so accessible in people's hands. I just feel like it's gonna be like a positive. I've been talking about the positive of Steam like for like it seems like for a while now, but I want to see like really interested to see like how that negative is gonna play out, because there's gonna be some negative with this thing pretty soon.
And I mean, I'm sure that the good thing is for me, I can't really speak for anybody else. Like I'm not playing online games on this. I'm not playing like competitive multiplayer stuff. I'm not even things like multiverses, or I'm trying to look at what I even have installed on here that has multiplayer capabilities. Skullgirls or them fighting herds or stuff like that. This isn't where I'd play those games. primarily.
Okay.
Like, I have the ability to play them here, and like there's ability to like practice, and like having them here is nice. Like, I'm keeping Multiverses on here just so you can play it on my Steam Deck. Like, I'm not playing Multiverses on my Steam Deck. I just need you to play Multiverses on my Steam Deck.
I'm looking forward to Saturday. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope. But there is a game on here that I wanted to talk to you about this week, and it's brand new. Came out publicly either today or yesterday, and the camera blur has completely ruined it. It's Marvel Snap. It's available on mobile and Steam. And Marvel Snap seems to be a really competent, like, hearing people talk about it who are like more into gaming but are also big Marvel fans. Hearing them talk about it, like, a lot of times, what's that one? Marvel Strike Force. Like, they're like, that's not really like the great thing. Marvel Snap seems to be 3-minute matches, and it's the perfect one more match type of game. And it's just like,
that's cool.
Hearing the amount of time that it's inadvertently stolen from people, of like just like the quality foundation of the game being as solid as it is, it's something I definitely want to check out. So like, I installed it on my Steam Deck. I added it before I left work. I added it to my library on Steam. Got home, it was right there front and center on my Steam Deck because it's the newest thing in my library. Hit install. It's like 2 gigs, so like 5 minutes later, it's here. I haven't played it yet because we're doing this, but
all right, yeah. I'm on here right now. I'm on on the Steam Deck Steam website currently. It says mostly positive reviews. Came out, as you said, the 18th. So that for the day this recorded, we're recording on the 19th. It came out yesterday. It's by Second Diner Studios, and it's a card battle strategy game. It's a casual PvP, by course, with superheroes inside of it. It seems like it's really easy to play too. So
yeah, it's just judging. And so, like, I know you have a iPhone, so like this might be one of the games that like we've yet to really be able to play anything together. Marvel Snap seems like, you know, I'm always looking for like, I'm like, where is the D game? Where is the game that will push D over the edge?
I never told you my favorite game, have I? Like, take a break from like the ongoing conversation that we're having. My favorite game, like of all time, is Kingdom Hearts. It's the first Kingdom Hearts game.
Oh,
and,
wow.
Like, my second favorite.
That's a weird choice.
I know, right? It's crazy. But before that, though, like, it was like Legend of Dragoon was also a favorite game of mine. Valkyrie Profile was also a favorite game of mine.
So I got to download the Valkyrie Elysium demo.
I know,
too,
right?
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I saw that. I'm like, oh my goodness, they got a Valkyrie Elysium game out. That game looks amazing, absolutely amazing. I was definitely thrown back when I saw that preview, and of course, God of War, like the early God of War when they first came out. I was hooked. I'm a simple gamer.
I know Valkyrie Elysium had a demo on PlayStation. Is that demo available on Steam? I'm looking for it. I know.
Looking for it now. It is $60. It comes out November 11th.
Yeah, but I'm looking for just like the demo because
for a demo.
Yeah, I know it has like a 2-hour long demo that's available on PlayStation, but I still haven't gotten remote play to work on here. So it just might not be available on PC.
I don't see any demos currently. Incorporate third party DMR. No demo that I see currently. But I do see like the release date, and it's in 3 weeks, and it does look gorgeous. Oh my goodness, it looks gorgeous. It looks just like the original. It looks just like Profile. It looks just like Valkyrie Profile, but like, you know, crisp. More crisp.
Yeah, more modern.
Yeah, more modern. There you go.
So, Kingdom Hearts 1. I got to circle back to that. Have you played any of the other Kingdom Hearts games?
I played 2. I have not played 3. I do have mixed reviews about 3. I just have not gotten a chance, like a lot of console. I just haven't gotten a chance to get into it. But I haven't watched the gameplay because I don't want to soul it for myself, you know?
Okay. I wouldn't even say 3's the best. Like, it seems to be the consensus of like the best because I've played all the way through 3. That's the only one I've played the entirety of. I've played bits of 1 and 2, and then the myriad of spin-off games. It seems like people's favorites fall on either 2 or Birth by Sleep.
Okay. I can definitely respect that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just seems like what was it about 2 that just didn't capture you after 1? Because it was like 1 Chain of Memories on the Game Boy is still like I have a physical cartridge of that game because that is such a great version of that game. Like I don't like the PS2 version, and that's like the only version you can play in these modern collections. But I got a GBA cart, and I got a DS Lite and a Game Boy Advance SP that both work. So if I need that quick hit of Chain of Memories, I can get it. Like, but Kingdom Hearts 1, like, it just doesn't hold up, man. Like they refined the series so much and stuck to like. I feel like everything they did in that first game, they've done better somewhere else in this series.
Yes, they have definitely like changed their ways since. And like again, this is coming from a guy who has not played like the third game, but like just from like the second game and even the Nintendo's game, like you're talking about, the game definitely changed a lot with after the first one, and even with all the new characters, new interfaces, like the new setup for like the character fighting and the actual like interaction of the game. They definitely changed themselves multiple times, and it doesn't even compare to the first game. It's so crazy.
But yeah, I just like I know a lot of people who are huge Kingdom Hearts fans. It should be my thing. I just didn't have a PS2 during the heyday of Kingdom Hearts being out. Like I was a GameCube kid at that time. So
I was gonna say, like it sounds like from that time you had to been playing GameCube. So like you were on that Incredible Hulk game, then, right?
Oh no, I was on. Here's like I was on Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I was on Sonic Riders, Sonic Heroes. I was on Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. I was on what are some other ones? Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg.
I remember that. Wasn't Beautiful Joe on the GameCube, or am I thinking PlayStation?
I have Beautiful Joe on my shelf.
Well, you did have like a cube. Like you didn't get a chance to play the Splinter Cell on the GameCube.
No, that was just judging by the games I was playing on GameCube and like thinking about where I was like in like 3rd grade.
I hear the game list yeah, so that's maybe a little too intimidating for me.
Right, it sounds like an elementary school kid. So yeah, I wasn't playing like I think the most like mature game that I played was Shadow the Hedgehog on GameCube. And I remember being
that left a long-lasting impression for sure.
Yeah, I remember being afraid that my parents like every time you get hit, he'd say "damn," and then every time he died, he'd say "damn, not again," and I would be just like so worried. Like I was like, "This game's super fun and super cool," but like if my parents hear that, like it is a wrap.
Like Shadow, shut the fuck up, guys, man.
I mean, it had Shadow the Hedgehog standing on the cover with a gun, and they bought it for me.
Oh yeah, he did like a little blaster. Yeah,
not a gun. There's a difference between a blaster and like Star Wars and a gun. Let me check this out. 9mm fucking. It's a straight up a human gun.
I'm looking this up. Oh no, you're right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is a full-on rifle. Okay. Shadow played no games. Got a mag sending and everything. So, all right, Shadow.
Yeah, that was like the most mature game I was playing on GameCube. Like I remember putting countless hours into Pokemon Channel, which is like this super small game that was supposed to just kind of be a promotion for like people watching the Pokemon anime, but like I got every ounce of gaming juice out of that game.
I don't think you're alone, my friend. I think a lot of like the Pokemon crowd who are still into Pokemon also played that very same game. So like you are not an outlier when it comes to that.
But yeah, so that was my thing during the PS2 era. Like, I got a PS2 later and bought with it, like, Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, and the PS2 version of Chain of Memories, Dirge of Cerberus, Final Fantasy 7. I'm trying to think, like, I got, like, a lot of the heavy hitters as far as, like, Japanese, like, third-person action-adventure games. Like, a lot of the heavy hitters in that genre. Like, as a high school kid, when I got my first PS2, I'm like, hell yeah, like, I've been seeing these games online and they look great.
I dabbled in the hacking of gaming also. I'm not gonna lie to you, like that. The way you had to rig a certain console to play games for it, like the Dragon Ball GT game or any other Japanese like exclusive games you had to play. Yeah, me and Lycos or Angel Fire or whatever, like, website browser I was using to look up hacks or to find games, I was definitely getting myself very hardcore into that. I wasn't playing the games that the majority of American kids were playing back then.
Well, I remember looking around the time I had the PS2 was when I was really like thinking about importing games, like looking at like Naruto games and stuff. Like, that is like a soft spot I have with retro game consoles. Is those amazing? A lot of times, like really high quality anime games, they just never came out in North America because like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle was PS3 Japan physical exclusive for a really long time. Like, now it's gotten a modern port and like is more accessible.
It's out now. I think the R is out now. Yeah.
Yeah, but thinking about it, Naruto games, like Naruto had a bunch of games that just never came stateside that on PS2 and GameCube that I would have loved to play. There, Bleach on PSP. Like, around the era of the PSP, there were, because you could just download the package file from the web browser on the PSP to play any demo,
and then rip it to a disc as an ESE file, and then you had to find like a game that worked, switch it out, put in like the actual game that you just burnt onto it, and like voila.
Well, that was way above the level I was functioning at.
There
was a website called PSP Demo Center that all you would do is you'd click download and it just download the package file.
What?
Of just the demos. Like, this website focused entirely on demos, so like it wasn't piracy because it was content that was available for free. It just wasn't through the PlayStation Store, like the North American PlayStation Store. I was getting things like, I remember God Eater, I want to say, was one of the big ones that had a demo in Japan, and I downloaded God Eater and I had no idea what was going on. But like, the Bleach Heat the Soul games and the Bleach Soul Carnival games, I remember figuring out my way through the menus to get into playing the game, and playing every single one of those games that had a demo. I played the shit out of all of those demos.
And for legal reasons also, I have never done any of those things I was just talking about in the full detail, just to let you guys
well,
know.
I mean, now I'm in a situation where a few years ago I was working a job that, like, I was able to, and this is pre-pandemic, I was able to, and I talked about this on Chessy Controller as far as emulation, like, I've amassed a collection of games, and so most of the times when I want to emulate a game or play, because the Steam Deck's great for emulation, I just don't have enough storage to do what I really need to do with it. So I'm like holding off on it until like I have like a bigger micro SD card and I can throw a lot more stuff on there. But I bought all those Japanese PSP games that I was playing the demos for. The Katekyo Hitman Reborn game, like, the U.S. doesn't know about Katekyo Hitman Reborn in the way that, like, Japan knew about Katekyo Hitman Reborn. And so that had 2 PSP games. And so, like, I went on a eBay buying spree. I bought all the Bleach PSP games, all the, like, Japanese exclusive, like, Final Fantasy Type 0 never came out in North America on PSP, and that's the only PSP game that I know of that's 2 discs. It's actually 2 UMDs in the case for Final Fantasy Type 0. So, like, all of these especially PSP era games, that I would even have like a passing interest in emulating, I have physically. So in my opinion, that kind of removes like a lot of the, because technically it's not illegal to emulate games that you own. So like I have DS games, I have GBA games, I have NES games, I have Japanese Super Famicom games, I have Japanese Nintendo 64 games. Like there are a lot of these games that it's like there's no good way to play them in the modern day. So, but I would want to emulate them for my specific purposes, and so I spent the money to get the physical. Like it's not just like I'm buying a PSP cases in bulk and printing labels and putting them. No, like I bought, some dude in Japan was selling his Bleach Soul Carnival 1 and 2 for like $10, and I sent that dude $10, and he sent me those 2 games. So now I can emulate them free and clear.
There you go.
And
back in my youth, there was a few nerd stores out here like that just had like Japanese themed accessories and like in product, so they would sell import games or order them for you. Like back when I was in my heyday of buying certain games, like it seems like you had like a more of a accessory to the internet to get you things like that.
Yeah, I mean a lot more of this has been becoming an adult and realizing just like, because there are games that I have that have tripled in value since the pandemic hit. A lot of people were bored indoors with nothing to do and started collecting things. Like that's what has happened with Pokemon cards. That's what happened with all types of things like manga. But I always have the foresight of like, and I mean, I wasn't expecting the prices of these games to go up. I bought these games to be able to either emulate them or just straight up, in certain cases, play them that I just didn't have access to at the time. And so, yeah, for me, as an adult with eBay and a debit card, like
you were going at it, man. You were going at it.
Looking back, I got like some imported Vita games. I got some pretty cool. I have a game that I don't even know where I got this game. It's a PSP game called Fired Up, and apparently was never released in North America. And I don't know how this game got into my collection, because I don't remember purchasing a game called Fired Up on the PSP. But I have it. And I remember like in high school trying to trade it into GameStop and them being like, this doesn't exist in our system. So
it looks like Twisted Metal in a way.
Yeah, I mean, man, spinning up a UMD. I wish there were a thing that wasn't portable that could play UMDs. Like, I wish there.
I haven't heard that word in a while. I'm sorry. UMD.
Yeah, the Universal Media Disc.
Wow, that really takes you back, man.
The mini discs of the GameCube, like stuff like this is just like always awesome to me. Like there's one piece of hardware that's out there that I really want that just keeps going up in price, and I should have got it when nobody wanted it and they were selling it for cheap. It's the Ouya. I know the Ouya is...
Oh, yeah. I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, the Ouya had a lot of big promises, but a lot of people understood that it was going to fail. And for me, like, there were a lot of good ideas going into it. They're not Nintendo, Sony, or Microsoft, or even Google, or even, like, it was a Kickstarter, and they made a lot of good decisions, and a lot of the best games from that have come other places. Like, somebody's listening to us, because in my Discord, somebody just posted Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate on Steam Deck online play in HD texture pack. That is the most recent. That is the most recent PSP. I'd turn this damn blur off.
The blur is killing him.
Change background.
I know. There it is.
But That's 3 Ultimate. I have Portable third, which is the one that I'm way more interested in playing. Like the introduction as an ogre, the feudal Japanese like art style. They hadn't really gone back to like a Japanese theme until Monster Hunter Rise. So for a long time, this bad boy right here.
That's cool. You get like little decks of all your games. You know exactly where they are. That's the sign of a true loyalist right there, man.
I mean, now that you can see it, like they're organized by like system and kinda era. So like up top, I got PS4 and Vita, and then coming down some, I got my Steelbooks because I don't have that many Steelbooks, but that collection's growing. I have like some special editions over here. I got my Xbox One games.
I can see that.
I got PS2 next to it. Coming around, I got Xbox 360.
Got it.
I got Switch.
That's what the red is. Gotcha.
Yeah, PSP over there.
You can see the little dab at the very top, like that's PSP for sure.
Yeah, I got DS, and this is not playing for audio listeners. I'm sorry. Check out the video version. Give D that extra click. Show Table Chief some love.
Is that Dreamcast?
I don't have any Dreamcast games. Like I don't have any Sega consoles or games.
Whoa.
Like because growing up it was always like Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, and I mean even so, yeah. I got DS and 3DS over there. I'm trying to like not, and then I got GameCube and Wii and Wii U, and then over here is PS3. And then down there, that's a mix between CDs and PS1 games, because they're all in the same jewel case. I got some more special editions down there. And then I got my Blu-ray collection over there. And then those bottom 2 shelves are like DVDs.
I was going to say miscellaneous, but yeah, DVDs work too. I dig it. That's wow, man. You got to really throw me back. All my stuff was in a storage. And it was all taken from me. So all my stuff is gone now. So all my games, all my consoles, I had every console. Like any console, any like major console you can think of, except for Dreamcast. I had them. All my comics gone. But yeah, that's a sad story for a different episode. But yeah, it's
I feel for you, man. Like that is one of my because. There are some things I remember in elementary school, middle school, high school. I remember getting into college and being like, I'm never trading in a game again because there were so many great games. And it's like things I'm just kind of selling to get the next thing. And it's like GameStop had multiple generations of this loop of like, buy 4 $60 games, trade them in for like $5 each, and then get like a $20 game and like stay on that kind of treadmill for a really long time. And like the amount of just games. I had a copy of Kirby Air Ride. Do you know how much a copy of Kirby Air Ride is in 2022? Go look for a complete in-box copy of Kirby Air Ride and tell me if you'd be willing to pay it. Just like sight unseen.
Almost $2,000. Holy hell.
Well, that must be a sealed copy. I know, but I know it's a couple hundred for just like complete in box, but not sealed. So complete in box. I don't know how into game collecting you've ever been. Complete in box or CIB is the disc, the manual, the slip in the outside, and if it came with anything extra like. Some games come with maps. Like I know GameCube games, like certain GameCube games, like Animal Crossing came with like a memory card and stuff like that. Like whatever, if you bought the game brand new and opened it, whatever was in that box that day is still in that box. And like a lot of my retro collection are complete in box. Like I'll spend the extra money because I'm sure I could get a loose disc of Kirby Air Ride for GameCube for probably like $20-$30, but I'd rather have a complete in box copy of that and actually like add it to the shelf, make it look neat and presentable.
You never get a price. Like what is like the highest price you've seen for something like that?
Kirby Air Ride, $200 to $300 for a complete in box copy.
Wow, that really all right. I never got into like doing it myself, collecting the games and and seeing like raising the price or like trading like that. Well, trading, that's a whole different thing. But I did like take a look and see like people taking interest in buying old games. But usually I never saw many games that were in box. Never saw games that had like the manual, had the original box, and the game inside of it all at the same time.
Well, looking at it, it looks like the market got a little bit flooded with Kirby Air Ride copies. It's going for like $60 to $70.
I see some for 30. Yeah.
Well, those 30. So this is another thing with game collecting. All of those, you see that yellow Player's Choice banner at the top of the case on all the cheap ones? And the bestseller badge, those are technically, copies, right? Those are like, they're later prints.
Reprints.
Yeah. So you always like, and that's something, it's not something I'm super diehard about because I have a couple PS3 games that are like the greatest hits, but like on PlayStation, the black label, it's way more valuable when it's... Yeah. So, like, I got a black label copy of Final Fantasy VII on PS1. I just lucked up because somebody wrote in, like, Sharpie. Let me see if I'll get it.
Unless someone's signing it, you don't want anyone writing anything in Sharpie. Like, unless, like, it's one of the creators or developers, you don't want anyone signing one of your games.
Yeah, but from the front and the side, you can't tell that somebody wrote. And, I mean, like, it's literally over the barcode. The back. And so I was able to get a complete inbox. All the discs are here. The manuals are here. Everything is here. Like, of Final Fantasy VII, black label, complete inbox, just because it has some Sharpie on it. I'll take this Sharpie. Rare. Yeah.
Have you ever, like, to change subject once again, have you ever bought yourself, like, a game today and just sat on it? Like, not opened it, just kept it on your shelf and, like, and not done stuff with it?
I have Switch and PS4 games that are just sealed because I got them and let me see. This, right here, very on brand. This is a sealed copy of Monster Hunter Rise, the Deluxe Edition on Nintendo Switch.
I knew it was gonna be Monster Hunter. That's cool. And like, you do this because like you're a fan too. You don't do this because like you want to get any kind of like monetary prize from this. You do this because you're just a fan of a collector.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. There's the two things. There's a difference between hoarding and collecting. That difference is organization. So that's one of my core tenets.
I like it.
It's like, I'm not a hoarder, I'm a collector because I organize this shit.
It looks nice. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. You got a nice. I know you said like your desk is kind of like the same way too. A lot of like organization and.
Well, my desk is a bit more chaotic because like I just Xbox controller, multiple PS5 controllers, just like the problem. The problem with my desk is there are too many, like, I'll be doing something and, like, I like to, like, my Xbox controller is to my PC, so if I want to play something on my PC, that needs to be within arm's reach. My Switch controller is sitting there. My PS5 primary controller, if my wife wants to play something on PS5, I got another controller sitting here for her. But, like, my
So wait, this is like where we're at right now, and I don't mean like to talk about like your place like in like this way, but I see it there. Is that a monitor for your consoles to the left of you?
This is. I need to get Madrid this monitor. Madrid has been living the one monitor life for entirely too long. And this used to be my secondary monitor. I upgraded. I have a secondary monitor now that is a lot closer to my primary monitor. They're the same size, same manufacturer. Like, my desk setup looks a lot better. And this one has built-in speakers. So when I'm watching YouTube while playing something on my primary monitor, I can listen to like music, do whatever, which this doesn't have built-in speakers. This, though, has been used a few times for like things like my Steam Link. and it's kind of like it has an HDMI port so I can test things on it, but it's not like. And then the problem also with it is I had this really cool idea of having like B-roll or something like that during, like, if we're doing a podcast, like having stuff like that going in the background. It doesn't show up well on camera. It's a whole thing. But yeah.
Well, hey man, I know like your 200 episode for Chessy Controllers coming up soon. Get yourself a nice little box. Wrap it up for him. See what he says. It might be a good footage for yourself.
Well, the thing is, I know Madrid probably doesn't have the desk space for it right now, so I don't want it to go and then sit in a corner or something. Like, it'll be here. I'll take good care of it. Put my little kind of funny hat on it.
There you go. There you go. I wish I had more topics to talk about, because this has been a very fun episode to chat with you. We just went on to see our pants. The reason why you guys are getting this episode, for you listening to it, it's going to be like nothing has passed. But for us, we are recording this episode like 4 days late, because I was dog sick.
Yeah, and I mean,
and my kid's birthday was like what's happening the same day too. So I had to take like 3 shots at the kid casino. That's what we call main event. The arcade, it's a kid casino, like whatever you want to say. Like you hear all the loud noises. That the kids run around playing games.
I spent my 22nd birthday at main event.
See, you get it, dude. Yeah,
it was bowling. The nice. Laser tag in there is legit.
my 6-year-old, he really wanted to do laser tag. We didn't have time to do laser tag, but we did do bowling. We did bowling. Did 1 round of bowling. We got to play just about every single game that was inside there. They love to claw. Kids today still love to claw, man. They still love it. Still crazy for it. But it was fun.
The UFO crane game. I have always been terrible at those.
We all are, man.
But like, that's the thing. In the advent of the internet, you see people who is just like, I'm going to go in here and get every toy out of this thing. And I'm like, I couldn't get one with the same amount of money that you just put into it.
He's hacking. He's just a hack.
It's just some skill to it, and is like, I'm a gamer in a lot of ways. Oh, the one thing before we go, that I got running on my Steam Deck that has been amazing, and it's deck verified, but it was just on sale, and I had some Steam Wallet credit. Tetris Effect Connected.
Oh, you mentioned that last time that you were going to play some Tetris. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's one of my comfort games, and it just happened to really. So every time I play Tetris Effect on a new console, I don't go into marathon mode. I don't go like off and do like my stuff. I play through the campaign of Tetris Effect Connected, because it's.
Do you really?
Yeah, and so I did it on PlayStation. Did it on Xbox, did it on the Epic Game Store version. Now I'm doing it on the Steam Deck version, and it's been great. Like, I was actually in a PSN party, and this shows how broken I am in a certain way. I have my PS5 on, with my headset on, talking to people playing Overwatch on PlayStation, and they're like, what's that music coming from your end, Anton? I'm like, I'm playing Game of the Generation, Tetris Effect Connected. And yeah,
I'm looking at like the trailer for this on Steam currently. It says it has very, very positive recent reviews, and overall reviews overwhelmingly positive. This is like
this
game of the year,
so
best soundtrack. This is nuts, man.
Yeah, it's Tetris Effect. The only thing that the Steam Deck version doesn't do that I would say, if you've played Tetris Effect and you haven't played it in VR Tetris Effect is a religious experience. It will blow your fucking mind. Like, that's the thing. Like, I've done a lot of things in VR. I've played a lot of games in VR. Like, I've gone through, over the course of time, I've had 2 different PSVR headsets. I have an Oculus Rift S over here. Like, VR is really cool, and there are a lot of really interesting things you can do in VR. But I will sit my ass down in this chair right here, and I will play Tetris Effect Connected in VR, because it is, it's one of the most special things in gaming.
It looks gorgeous. It does. Like, I see like the gameplay. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Like, wow. Like some Minority Report, like, gorgeousness. This is how good this looks. Like, you could be on the moon.
Yeah.
Playing Tetris is wow. Like, In multiplayer?
I don't think the multiplayer supports VR, because that's, for me, been one thing. Like, because Tetris Effect Connected is what added multiplayer. When it was just Tetris Effect, it was just single player, had the campaign, but then it had marathon mode and all those different, like, things you expect out of a Tetris game. But the multiplayer Tetris game at the time was either Puyo Puyo Tetris 1 or Tetris 99 on the Switch. Both of which are really good. But now, where you're like, time has passed on, Tetris Effect Connected and Puyo Puyo Tetris 2 are kind of the gold standard with, like, Tetris games right now. So, I know we talked about it on the last episode. That plus, like, the World Finals for Tetris happened recently. I didn't watch any of it. I was just seeing tweets about it. And because that happened, the game was on sale, and I had to use my Steam credit on it.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do sometimes, man. It's the game of the year. You got to pick it up.
Game of the generation.
Get it right, D. Game of the generation.
I know I have like 3 games of the generation for last generation, but it's Tetris Effect, Monster Hunter World, and Final Fantasy XIV. Those are the 3 games that I'd say. Like, I played hundreds of games last generation. Those 3 stand above.
You live up to it. Like, you talk about them constantly, always positive things. You recommend it to everyone. So yeah, no, I hear you. You hold by
these are the kind of games that'll enhance your life. I'm just trying to help you live a better gaming life, because these games have helped me live a better gaming life. I'm just, sharing the love, like.
And on that note, we are definitely gonna sign off. Anton, to give you like the gospel of gaming, and like he's got a table cheese here first. Make sure you check out those games. This has been fun. This has really been like a really good fun episode. So as always, I'm grateful for the ear and the knowledge that you bestow upon us. I am D of FTL Nerd Talk. Make sure you check out anything FTL Nerd Talk wherever you find FTL Nerd Talk.
Chessy Controller Podcast around the ChessyControllerPodcast.com to find us around the internet. You can follow me on Twitch and Twitter at Anton Sixxx with 3 X's. Instagram is Anton Sixxx with the number 6 with 2 X's, because the first X is implied. Like, it's a whole thing. But yeah, tweet at me, Instagram me. I've seen people come from like your timeline and like who follow you. Like, somebody will follow me and it's like the only person that they follow that's like in my network is UD. So like, thanks for like having some
I got you, man.
Yeah. And hopefully people have come to you from like your couple appearances now on Chessy Controller Podcast, because like
I'm noticing new faces on my Twitter timeline. So like definitely like some folks are gathering over there. I haven't done the investigative reporting to find out who is and isn't joining from there, but like definitely I got some new faces coming up, and I had to tell myself it has to be from this guy. It has to be. And if you guys listening to this like the day that we dropped this, 200th episode. Coming out soon, yep. Chessy Controller. Like you guys are doing it big. Congratulations.
Yep, live from Radic Records. We're going to be streaming over on twitch.tv/Chessy Controller. If you miss it live there, we'll drop the podcast version and the video version on our YouTube channel. So just keep an eye out for it. Episode 199 is out and about around the internet featuring D. Episode 200. Yeah.
That was really fun. Thanks for that. All right, until next time, you guys take it easy.
And keep it cheesy.
Hey guys, D here of FTL Nerd Talk. I hope you enjoy the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTL Nerd Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.